Alright, turn 26. Throne of Storms has been claimed in the name of just a lizard. I feel like deja vu. Yeah, the Throne of the Stars was claimed last turn by just a lizard. So, who is that? That is just a lizard that is New Satis. So I am next to... Yeah, that's the one I'm next to. So New Satis has claimed 2 level 1 thrones at this point. So what thrones would those be? Those would be, I think, that throne probably, and that throne probably. Or might be that throne. No, I think that throne is behind Shiniyama's lines. I guess that could be that throne. Not sure. We'll find out. We'll send this little scout monkey over that way and move further into New Satis' territory. That's New Satis right there, by the way, so I am quite close to them, actually, at this point. My armies are moving over here to Rasenna to reinforce the siege with my Asrapas. Actually, my Ganas, led by Unburied, are actually moving up here, because these woodland spirits are ethereal and otherwise have pretty bad stats, so the Ganas should be able to beat them up. Shaggy, likewise, will move down here to reinforce the siege. He will bring his 38 siege strength to bear. This fort was already moderately damaged, so I think they basically have nobody inside it. So 92 siege strength there, 38 there, that's about 120. These ladies provide another, well, not much, because they have the Chaos Power negative penalty for being in order. They'll provide a little bit more. We should crack it in about 2 or 3 more turns, probably. Meanwhile, down here, I did kill a scout, and... Oh god, oh no, the knights are coming back! How could they? We're a little bit more prepared. I've recruited yet another Raksharaja, Go Hard, who is, getting with it. And we have... I don't think I need another Raksharaja just now. I think what I could use now is probably some Rakshasi. They can give me... Because Rakshasi can potentially give me level 3 in a couple of paths. And they can give me nature, is what they can give me. Which is, well... See, it's kind of interesting, because I'm like, on the one hand, I want to like Rakshasi. But on the other hand, I'm like, I actually already get my nature in my communions from Yogini. And Raksharajas give me everything else faster than Rakshasi do. So, like, Do I need Rakshasi, though? I don't feel like they're really important. Because, like, they can give me Air 3, Death 3, Nature 3, or Blood 3. But Raksharajas already give me Air 3 and Blood 3. They only give me Death 2, potentially. So I could theoretically get higher level Death from Rakshasi, but only at a very low percentage. And they're capital only and slow to recruit, so the odds are in any given game you will actually never get a Death 3 Rakshasi. So I think what I'm going to do here actually is I'm going to start recruiting some Kalamuka in the capital in order to free up my Raksharajas to go do other things while the Kalamukas cast the Blood 2 summons. Still recruiting Raktapatas here. I've got a number of them actually, and I should start getting Saboria ready to exploit. Now I'm getting my troops. Fogomir is actually moving down to help defend against the knights, because the knights will otherwise try to kill me and ruin all of my dreams. So I've got all of my Raksharajas. All 3 of them are patrolling, 2 of them are summoning imps, 1 is blessing some sacreds and then spamming agony. We've got a total of 10 sacreds. With the full turmoil buff, they should be able to kill knights pretty effectively. Palankashas hit like trucks, and the Asrapas do piercing damage and have a very, very high attack skill, plus they berserk. And then I just have some chaff. So the idea here is the knights will charge in, they will get tied up by chaff, they will have imps summoned on them, which will further derange them and kill the militia, and then they will end up fighting the Asrapas and Palankasha, and those guys will just beat the brakes off them piecemeal. That's the goal. Blood hunting, not going fantastically well. I really, really do need that construction. Enchantment, it'll be a couple more turns yet, especially because people aren't researching right now because they're patrolling. But I am, of course, churning out Yoginis over here, as well as some indie heavy infantry just to guard the place, because they're actually quite a bit better protected than my monkey infantry. Light Band are archers. It would also be good to get some of them, and they don't cost many resources. So I'll tell you what, let's drop that guy and recruit 3 Light Band archers. That's a pretty decent mix. Yeah. So there we go. That'll be fine. And then I could actually also recruit one Atavi Archer. That will exactly zero out my recruitment points. Yay! Up here, got the Raktapatas coming. Yeah, keep on with the Raktapatas. Well, actually, I'll tell you what. Yeah, keep on with the Raktapatas. And those Raktapatas should move up here into Saboria and start blood hunting there. We're going to actually kick the province. Saboria is actually a really nice province, or it would be if it had some more recruitment points. If it had more recruitment points and resources, I would build a fort here, because being able to recruit heavy cavalry is actually quite cool. The problem just is, it has no resources, and very, very limited recruitment points because the population is low. So instead, I'm going to blood hunt the hell out of it and kill everyone. So, these four, all going to move up there. That will once again kill my research yet further, but that's fine. We'll get them up there, we'll get them blood hunting. I need to be recruiting scouts or something to give to them. Mounted commanders, no bueno. What's up here? Nope, wolf tribe. Up here? Indie commanders, better than nothing. But I think over here, actually, we're just going to start pumping out Atavi commanders again. Atavi chieftains, sorry. And let's get some more Atavi archers going on. Why not? There's no real reason not to. All of these soulless can join the ranks of the patrollers, I think. Actually, I'm already down to 0 unrest here. So what I can do is I can have one of you lads summon another couple of Mound Kings, and those Mound Kings can pick up soulless from these various locales. We're also at unrest 0 here. So what we can do here is give all of these soulless to him. That's 53. And then Citravasu can actually move on to provide startup patrolling for Saboria as they start exploiting it. We'll have a Mound King pick up soulless from Cormac and ferry it northward, and we'll have soulless generated here by our blood hunting and patrolling. Will be converted into, the corpses will be converted into soulless, and we'll have another Mound King stationed there to pick up the slack patrolling that province. So the blood economy is starting to get on its feet. I still really, really need Construction 4 very badly. But as soon as I have Construction 4, I will just churn out Sanguine Dowsing Rods and hand them to everyone, and then blood hunting will ascend into the stratosphere. We'll be churning out blood slaves so fast that we will actually eat our provinces very, very quickly. Like Cormac. Cormac is probably going to be dead by that point. Iprisia, we're going to kill Iprisia, no question. We're going to kill Digmore down to like 3,000 population or something. We're going to kill Saboria down to 3,000 population. We're definitely going to kill Hoborgdorf as well, and probably Yellow Mountains. I mean, Yellow Mountains actually has all these death scales, and so, like, I don't know why it has these death scales. It's because of the Throne of Autumn. It increases death, so the Throne of Autumn is just turning this province to straight-up Death 3. So it won't really be much point blood hunting there. We're going to blood hunt the shit out of Bergamum and Rasenna, and if we can get any of these other provinces, we'll blood hunt the shit out of them. Now, this is just Lion Tribe warriors. Like, nobody has taken this province, ever, for no reason that I can see. There's, like, nothing stopping anyone from taking it. So, I think I'm actually going to just go take it. It's in Order 3, so I don't want to send my Sacreds unaccompanied, because their stats are bad, because they're in Order. So, I think I'm going to take these guys. Sibergol. I'm going to take Sibergol and just, like, snatch up Druidland real quick, because, I mean, why not? It's income for as long as I hold it. Might as well take it. And we'll grab that. We'll have this, and we'll be in pretty good shape. And I'll contact Utgard again, ask him how the war at Sarmatia is going, see what his plans are, and we'll figure out something to do. In terms of my next target after, stealing a few provinces from Niflheim here, still mulling it over. Still honestly thinking Shinuyama is probably the easiest target, just because, Shinuyama is turmoil. Also, that province, also still unclaimed. Ictiads could take this random wasteland. It's not very good, but I could take it. This is a blood hunting province of Gaths, obviously. It's got Kohens and Levite Zealots patrolling. Up here, whole bunch of Issacharite Sibyls and Levite Zealots, so recruiting basic communion nature mages. Over there, looks like they lost that province to a lizard rebellion in Flat Glades. Oh no. Huh. So this is a national hero from Worthy Heroes for Gath. Kinslayer, Cain, essentially, the Legend of Cain. Cain, he's a Death Nature Mage, so pretty useful. He's immortal, and with a really, really high Blood Vengeance value. So anybody that hits him has a very, very high chance of taking the damage themselves. In addition, he's a bringer of misfortune, and he kills population. So I think basically this was just a suicide attack. I think Althea was just getting rid of Cain as quickly as she could, because fuck him, he's not useful. Like, he doesn't do anything for Gath that Gath doesn't already have access to, and he causes problems just by being around. So yeah, I think that was what happened. I think Cain just was suicided into this province in order to die, which is fair. Like, that's perfectly valid. There is still another independent wasteland right here as well, so I'm not sure what Althea is up to there. It looks like she may have had... I mean, like, it almost looks like she may have had some really serious expansion issues like mine, but it's a little late for that. Like, Althea is a better player than this, so I feel like this is part of some kind of plan. I just don't know what plan involves leaving unforted lizard provinces next to your capital. Anyway, we'll worry about that some other time. For right now, we're doing good. We're doing alright. If we can keep these fucking knights from taking our capital, we'll be fine. And we'll, yeah, we will continue to expand our retinue of very badly named Raksharajas, and continue to pump out more undead. We're getting into the swing of things in terms of soulless production. We've got quite a few of them bumming around. And, oh yeah, all these soulless can just join the Black Parade. And then I can take these Markata, and the, my Atavi Chieftain can take these Markata somewhere else, because they cost upkeep, so I can just suicide them now that I have enough soulless to take over patrolling duties entirely. So we can take anything that costs upkeep, we can just take away and drop into a pit somewhere, and that'll be fine. We can give these animals, because these animals don't cost upkeep, give them to Simoth, and once Simoth has a full load of boys, he'll just, we'll just keep on rocking and rolling. Should be fun. Should be a good old time. So, thanks for watching. See y'all in turn 27. I'm feeling a lot better about this game. I mean, obviously I'm not out of the woods. Like, I'm still not a major power or anything, but I'm clawing it back slowly. Don't look at that research score. Just don't. Avert your eyes. Pay no attention. Oh god. That is terrible. Also, I am claiming, I don't forget if I actually mentioned that, I am claiming the Throne of Autumn, so I'll be able to recruit Mages of Autumn, which will be sweet. And then DMX will run back home as quickly as he can to hide and research, and not be exposed to death. Although he may site search on his way back, so I can get some water income going. And astral income. That would be actually pretty neat. So, in any case, see you next turn. Alright, turn 27. We have claimed the Throne of Autumn. We've revived a couple of kings. Didn't capture any blood slaves this turn. This is the problem with hunting with blood ones and no sanguine dowsing rods. It's just very random. In Wick Forest, we won. As I expected, having the magic weapons made the difference, because, except for their awe, woodland spirits just aren't very dangerous. The steel strength does do armor negating damage, but it is resisted by magic resistance, and Ganas actually have pretty okay magic resistance. And then the additional weakness doesn't really affect, it doesn't affect inanimate beings. I think Ganas are not inanimate, actually. They're just undead, but soulless are inanimate. Although they have such low magic resistance, they're just going to take a whole bunch of armor negating damage and die anyway. The important thing here just is that woodland spirits aren't very good at attacking, and they rely on being ethereal for defense. So, the soulless went in and just got fucking annihilated. But then the Ganas came in, and the Ganas were able to smack down the woodland spirits very slowly. They were having trouble hitting because of the awe, because their morale is only 15 or 16. But with their 13 defense skill, they were blocking most of the steel strength attacks, and they were just able to grind through the woodland spirits and cause them to rout. So, you can see there, they all break, we win, we take the place. In Druidland, meanwhile, we sent in our Bandar and Atavi archers against just a whole bunch of Lion Tribe. Lion Tribe are bad, but then Atavi are also bad, so basically, the Lion Tribe and the Atavi got into a shoot-off. The Atavi got driven off, and then the Bandar went in and beat the Lion Tribe warriors to death. Not much of a problem. And they went in and beat the Lion Tribe archers to death. Great. So, took some casualties there, but wiped the place out. In Niflheim, Niflheim keeps trying to break out. They tried to break out this time with a very expensive group, actually. Guttorm the Nifl Jarl. And this guy is really cleverly built. He's designed to be a huge pain in the ass for Tianqi to actually hit and kill, because he not only has the regeneration, he also is ethereal because he's wearing a robe of shadows. This is a good idea. He has some reinvigoration, so he won't pass out. All he really needs now is either more regeneration or some extra prot. I would be tempted to slap a horned helmet on him, just to make sure that he can, to give him an extra attack and some more head protection. His head protection is actually already really, really good, hilariously. But his body protection isn't amazing because he's wearing this robe of shadows. So his body protection is actually only 18. He does have the ice protection, so it's plus, all of his protections are plus 9 over what they should be. He's then surrounded by all these Jotun skin shifters, which change into wolves. Jotun skin shifters do very badly against Tianqi units, but the interesting thing here was basically that what he accomplished was wiping out all of Tianqi's worthless chaff. All of their wolves and all of their birds, all their black hawks that they had brought in for siege purposes, pretty much were annihilated. Beyond that, didn't do a lot of damage. Guttorm routed, HP routed, very quickly after the warriors of the 5 elements started chewing up his skin shifters. So he fled. Lost 15 skin shifters. The Nifl Jarl should not have died, so he should still have Guttorm in there. And all he did was kill wolves and blackhawks. That's not what he needs to accomplish in order to win this. What he needs to accomplish is killing the warriors of the 5 elements. If he can kill the warriors of the 5 elements, and if he has some Gigyas inside his fort, if he can construct a turbo communion to skeleспam, then he can hold. Because just by spamming infinite skeletons into the breach and preventing them from making any progress. But that won't work if Tianqi still has 53 warriors of the 5 elements, or even 50 warriors of the 5 elements, because warriors of the 5 elements blend skeletons really, really quickly. Even unblessed, to be honest. They have a defense skill high enough that skeletons usually can't hit them, and they get 6 attacks per square, so they chop through squares of skeletons very fast. They can actually push forward against continuous skeleспam. So, in order to do that, in order to defend himself properly, Niflheim has to kill them. And it really doesn't matter what it costs to kill them. As long as he kills them and has some mages left, he can beat that army. Another shitty event happened in Lanka. An earthquake struck, killing 5,000 of my population and destroying the temple, which means that I can't recruit anything except yoginis and basic commanders and stuff, so, or any of my sacreds. So we're rebuilding the temple, we're recruiting a yogini. I have 500 gold that I'm actually not going to spend on troops, because my national troops are worthless. We're not patrolling with any of my mages anymore. We're just going to, we are patrolling with Hollow, I guess. Nah, we're just gonna move Hollow out, actually, because Hollow has actual troops. And yeah, we're just gonna, I guess we're gonna have to kind of gamble that knights aren't going to attack me this turn. They didn't attack me last turn, so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we've got a couple new provinces. Income's looking alright. We should be breaking down that fort sometime soon. Walls are severely damaged, so hopefully I'll be collapsing these 2 groups back in here, as well as the remainder of my Ganas. So hopefully this army should be able to bust down the walls pretty quick. And once it does that, we've got our Sacreds gathered up there. We've got our Bandar up front. Our Bandar will actually just go straight in. Just attack. These guys will be on hold and attack, and the Ganas will also just go straight in. So all those guys will rush in. The Sacreds will bless themselves and then attack. These guys are going to hold back because they are the worst. And these guys will hold and fire at enemy archers. Actually, no. Hold and fire at large enemy monsters in case there are any inside. Yeah, that'll be fine. So we'll get these guys right there. We'll get my priests right up behind them to drop the blessing. Slap that fat, happy blessing on them. And yeah, you're actually dropping Sermon of Courage. That's fine. You two, 5 blessings, 4 or 5 blessings should hit all these guys. Stats, still not good because of the -3 chaos power. It's a problem, really, but it should be alright. And in terms of research, gonna hit enchantment level 4 in 2 turns and then go down construction. and construction will definitely help me a lot. So, that's the plan. We've made contact with New Satis. They seem to be interested in peace. I'm also interested in peace right now. We'll see how things go and what happens. It's really a bummer that Utgard has Order 3. That makes me sad, man. Definitely making me sad. And we'll kind of have to figure out where we're going next. I mean, geographically speaking, what I want to do is attack Utgard. In order to do that, though, I need to push my Dominion on them real hard. It's really hard to get your Dominion into somebody's cap circle. But Utgard is, they're expanding really well, but over in this direction, over by Saromatia, which is somewhere. Like, this should be Saromatia's cap circle, I think. So their armies are all over there. And they, like, my territory currently kind of loops around theirs. So what I'd really like to do would be to eat these 5 provinces real quick and place Utgard's capital under siege. Unfortunately, I just don't think that's very practical, because, like, these provinces I could take without much trouble. But these provinces with Order 3 will debuff my demons hugely. So, mainly my Azrapas, which I need, so I would need at least... Bloodlust would help a lot. I would need to be deploying significant numbers of my mages, and I just don't have enough mages to deploy. Like, really, that's my problem. My issue is just, I have to... Yeah. Search for magic sites real quick. You guys are all researching, that's fine. Mordyth is sitting here defending, which is okay, I guess. I need more troops. I might have to spend money on troops, actually. Ugh. Could do this. How many resources are you? 13 versus 7. Nah, get a couple more archers, because the Bandar are honestly not fantastic. Yeah, let's start churning out some troops. I'll still have enough money to do some cool things next turn with. Alright, so I think that's gonna be the turn. We're decent. We're in okay shape. Our gem income is still miserable. But, you know, that's just gonna kind of have to be the way it is. We've got 2 people casting summons. We've got Agama building a temple. Stainless Steel is moving out to site search. The Nonstop Pop is site searching here. And then we'll want to slap another temple down real quick. Probably up here in Yellow Mountains. Not really necessary, because we're just going to be churning out Mages of Autumn up here, but hey, might be useful. And those self-same Mages of Autumn will be moving over to provide buff support to my armies, which will be great. I'll need Conjuration level 3 in order to get them Earth Power. But once I have Conjuration level 3, they can drop Strength of Giants, they can drop Legions of Steel, and I can go down Alteration if necessary to get them to cast Earth Meld, which would be really useful for me, since my troops hit hard, but often have trouble hitting in the first place. So, that, I think, is turn 27. Hopefully we'll take Rasenna real quick, be able to start recruiting stuff there, and, yeah. Set ourselves up for success. See you next time. Okay, turn 28, a very interesting turn. First of all, the Nifl Jarl sallied again in Old Tien Shi with his ethereality. This is the same guy as last time. He's ethereal and he's lucky, with the Boots of the Messenger and dual-wielded Frost Brands. Now, unfortunately for him, he didn't really get a whole lot accomplished, and partially that's because he got completely distracted fighting things that weren't Warriors of the 5 Elements, until the Warriors of the 5 Elements were able to surround him. And when they surround him, even though he's ethereal, they just hit so much. They just hit so very, very much. Furthermore, when he does hit them, they do have Blood Bond. So they actually, they spread the damage to some degree unless they're blessed. So they have their Blood Bond active, which means that when he whacks them, he doesn't actually kill all that many. You can see, like, the damage is getting spread around to all these guys. They're taking some damage and some afflictions, but this guy is still alive at 0 hit points because he has some Undying. This guy's merely slightly injured. The area of effect of the Frostbrand is not very effective against them because they are, of course, cold resistant. And so, as a result, he just ends up surrounded. And he gets some kills, but not a whole lot. Especially once the archers come in and start shooting at him, too. He's already down to 13 hit points, just from the slow whittling. And he'll go in just a minute here. 9 HP, there he goes, he's gone. So, yeah, it was unfortunately not very effective against the big mass of Warriors of the 5 Elements. honestly, Blood Bond, even on relatively low HP chassis like this, can be very useful. It can be dangerous because massive damage will spread overkill through the squad. Now, Blood Bond does have a cap. It can only do damage equal to triple the HP of the unit that was hit. So if you hit somebody with like a Gifts from Heaven or something, you're still only going to spread a total of, I believe, 24... No, you're going to spread... I forget if it's going to spread 36, which is 3 times their hit points, or if you're going to spread 24, which is 3 times their hit points minus the amount it took to actually kill them. But in any case, you're not going to actually wipe out 5 squares worth of Sacreds with 1 hit. But, on the other hand, if you drop a Gift from Heaven on a square of Warriors of the 5 Elements, you're going to kill 3 of them and spread that damage 3 times. So the kills will start mounting up very, very rapidly. The unfortunate thing was just the AoE of the Frost brands was partially negated by their elemental resistances, of which they have all of them, of course, and he just didn't have the raw damage output to overwhelm the Blood Bond. If you'd had 2 or 3 of these Nifl Jarls together all doing that, they might have accomplished something, but even so. And then, of course, Tianqi did storm Niflheim. So the army all arranged, they've got their Masters of the Dead, they've got their Immortal Hosing Ku. We've seen these heroes before. These are the same heroes that I had in my middle-aged Tianqi game. He's got the Master of the Iron with the Iron Crutch, who is diseased from spreading plague. He's also diseased his Prophet, because he keeps putting his Prophet next to the Master with the Iron Crutch. I'm not sure if maybe that's deliberate. Maybe he's trying to kill this Prophet off. Although, a Heroic Quickness Noble Chariot, personally, I would fucking keep around. This guy's a beast. I mean, really. Like, why not? In any case, he's diseased and will die, because he's near the Master with the Iron Crutch. And yeah, there's not a whole lot in here. There are a few Gigyas. There is Tiatzi the Abductor, and Skadi the Huntress, who is another Worthy Heroes addition to Niflheim's hero line. So Niflheim did steal a couple of the unique heroes, which is great because they are dying here today. But yeah, Skadi the Huntress is not terribly impressive. She can be a pretty significant super combatant in cold because she has nature and water, so she can give herself regeneration. On top of carrying an item that gives her regeneration, or possibly 2. And she can quicken herself and give herself a better frost aura, although she already has the chill aura. But yeah, she can be effective that way, but not without any gear. And of course you have Tiatzi the Abductor, who is the best giant hero by far. Air 3, he could turn into an eagle. In eagle form, he has Air 4, and in all other ways, he is a Nifl Jarl. So he is fantastic. But unfortunately, he's dead now. So the Gigas started to spam skeletons. One Giga actually, I think, took a hit and just routed right off the bat from all the archers, firing at large monsters, which means they are targeting Tiatzi, so he really should be somewhere else. And these Gigas are not, I believe, communioned. They're just spamming Raise Dead. They haven't communioned. And the Warriors of the 5 Elements, like, they're just mulching their way through the small amount of undead that get summoned, and they just murder everything with no trouble whatsoever. Absolutely no trouble. There are some casualties among Tianqi, especially from that. Tiatzi took a lot of hits, and so that holy spell caused a lot of casualties, but even so, total of 23 deaths, most of them just footmen. They did lose 1 Master of the Dead, but yeah. That was a one-sided curb stomping, and Niflheim is, I think, basically out. Rasenna is critically damaged. It'll take a little bit longer to break it down. It should go down next turn, I believe. Yeah, 203 siege strength. We should take it down next turn. Gertia up here is searching for magic sites. Tianqi has sent me a message here. No rush for the next target, but tap me on the shoulder if you have an idea or want to trade items and or gems. I certainly will. Now, my scout over here has found Sauromacia's capital, and yeah, Sauromacia is in trouble. They are getting the crap kicked out of them, which is kind of what I expected from what I'd heard about the way the war was going, but still wanted to get some confirmation. It is a little bit unfortunate. I have this Brigand Lair. I don't know that I talked about it. This was spawned by a random event. So Mapito Cliffs is giving me pretty much no income, but it already was giving me pretty much no income. It does mean that I can recruit villains. Now, unfortunately, villains are really garbage units. It's not just that their stats are poor, although their stats are poor. It's also that they're undisciplined and have base morale 8. So they will not stick in a fight. Ever. Morale 8 is just incredibly crippling for them. Like, in order to use those guys at all, I would have to do something weird, like get an Atavi chieftain with like a plus inspirational item, but those items require fire magic typically, and I couldn't forge them anyway, so I can't really use, like, the Brigand Lair is a bad site because it cripples your income completely, and it enables recruitment of what's legitimately one of the worst units in the game. It's 10 gold, 5 resources, no. If they were 5 gold like Markata, I might recruit villains just to have a massive short bows, but they're undisciplined, so there's barely any point in doing that even. Like, I can recruit Markata archers for half the price that are shittier short bows. Like, no question, they're shittier, but still, if what you want is a mass of low-quality arrows, Markata archers do it better than fucking villains do. In any case, so I can't use that, but it's interesting to note that this site spawns and makes you suck. Meanwhile, I've got up in Rasenna, Blightlands, Bergamoom, so searching for sites there. I need to search for sites in Wick Forest as well. One turn, I should be able to break that, and then Assault. In terms of recruitment, mage recruitment, I am recruiting another Raksharaja, because I feel like I can't really have too many of those guys. Up here, I'm recruiting Yoginis again, because I'm like, I have some blood hunting. I don't have many things to use the blood slaves on right now, and I need more research. So Yoginis here. I also need Mages of Autumn, but they can't contribute to my research because they have to be walking around site searching for Earth. We're building up some troops over here still. I'm not quite satisfied with what I have. I need a bigger garrison just to kind of hold this place in case I get attacked. My province defense will do nothing. It's fucking Atavi and Markata. Like, who cares? The non-stop pop site search here didn't find anything. He's going to be cruising down this way. We've got stainless steel site searching in here, and he'll come around that way. We've got Real Go Hard and Agama here are actually all reanimating soulless, and I'm doing that just because I noticed that I actually have a shit ton of corpses in Lanka from the various random events that have hit the province. So those will degrade unless I use them, but they're free soulless. And since these guys are holy too, they can actually reanimate like 15 plus soulless each per turn. 16 plus, I'm sorry. So while I have these 300 plus unburied corpses, I'm just going to turn as many of them as possible into soulless, because I might be able to get like the amount of unburied corpses decreases every month. I forget exactly how much it decreases by. It's pretty significant, but I'm hoping to get like 100 or a couple hundred soulless out of this. And my next Raksharaja will also reanimate soulless, and then I will move him out to go do other things. My short-term goal here: secure that fort, build up my research as fast as I can. I need to hit construction level 4 rapidly. I need to hit blood magic level 4 rapidly. Once I've got that, so blood magic level 4 is the point at which I might consider launching another war against somebody preferably somebody who has a turmoil domain, so that I can leverage my Asrapas pretty heavily. In that sense, as I've mentioned, Shinuyama would be a primary target. Of course, Shinuyama can skeleton spam the hell out of me. In fact, everyone around me can spam undead at me pretty effectively, and undead don't get life drained, so it's kind of a problem. I need better combat magic. So in the short term, I'm probably actually going to end up turtling and spamming out Yogini real hard in an effort to get my research back up to something remotely acceptable. And site search very heavily in order to try and get my gem income up to something remotely acceptable, which right now it is not. It is nowhere fucking near. It's turn 28. My gem income is 11. It's garbage. It's bad. I hate it. In order to change it, I need to do more research, which is, of course, the one thing that I don't have. Researching Conjuration level 3 would be a big step in the right direction. Researching Thaumaturgy level 3 would be a big step in the right direction. I just don't have the spare research for that at the moment. Construction level 4 will be a game changer for me. It will kick my blood economy into high gear. At that point, my limiter will be, I will start actually running out of blood hunting provinces, because a lot of these provinces I can't effectively blood hunt. Like, this is, yeah. It's a bit of an issue. Iprisia I'll burn to the ground. Cormorant I'm already burning to the ground. Siboria I'll burn to the ground. Obergdorf I'll burn down. Zox I might not burn down. I might actually build a fort in Zox, just because of the income. Bergamum I'll absolutely burn down. Wick Forest I'll try to burn down, although it's a little bit inefficient because it's a little bit further away from my fort over here. And then Druidland, it's barely worth doing anything in, so, you know. But yeah, I will convert as much of my population as possible into blood slaves to spam demons and stuff, and I need to save blood slaves up as well, because once I hit blood 6, I can start turning blood slaves into Dakini, and Dakini are fantastic. And then, of course, at higher levels, I can potentially get Mandeha and Danavas, possibly, but I don't anticipate getting that far, to be fully honest. We'll see how the undead spam helps me out. Spamming out a whole bunch of soulless, possibly long dead. The thing just is, long dead is so shit, I don't really want to rely on having tons of it. But when it comes to combat, I'm going to have to use my Yoginis as my primary combat mages, backed up by Raksha Rajas, casting primarily air spells, and possibly higher level blood spells if I need to use higher level blood magic. My big basic strategy is obviously going to be just casting Bloodlust and hoping that summoned demons with buffs can carry the day. We'll see how well that works. I'm going to transition this recruitment slightly further north, because I don't need troops there right now, but I can get some Bandar here and some Bandar archers. Yeah, that's fine. Just a few troops to kind of help things go on. You are moving up to patrol. Mordith, I don't know where Mordith is going, but I'm going to give him some troops to go with him. Where was Mordith going? Oh, Fegamur is actually patrolling here. That's fine. So Mordith can move up this way. Oh, that's right. No, Mordith isn't taking troops with him, because Mordith was going to take over patrolling up on that little farm. Yeah, that's what was happening. Everybody's blood hunting here. Blood hunting, blood hunting. I don't know. I'm in a much better position than I was, obviously, in the sense that I'm stable, but I'm still not good, and it's primarily because of research. Now, obviously, the research woes are going to be somewhat hidden from people. Well, they're not actually, because I'm releasing these videos. And so a year from now, by turn 40, people will know where I was research-wise turn 28, and that will tell them where I am research-wise roughly, because they'll be able to look at this and go like, there's no way he made more than X number of levels in that time, which is, you know, accurate. You can predict that fairly cogently. So it really is kind of a shit situation, where I'm in one of those situations where I'm looking at the map going, I'm not going to bow out, certainly, and I'm going to try my best here, but I don't see how this turns into a winning position just because I'm so far behind the curve. And this, I will say this, and this is sort of a digression, but this is one of the problems that I do have with Dominions. I think I've said this before, but Dominions is a game that takes a long time to lose sometimes. And so you end up in these situations where you're like, realistically, I think I've already lost the game. Like, my chances of coming back for this are 5%, 10%, what have you. But in order to roll those dice, those 5%, 10% dice, I have to sink in another 50 hours into just this game. Not Dominions 5, but this game of Dominions 5 specifically, in addition to whatever other games of Dominions 5 I want to play. Because finishing out a game of Dominions 5 that is, you know, runs 70 turns, takes, I mean, maybe call it an average of 20 minutes a turn. So if 3 turns are an hour, that's okay. So I was exaggerating when I said 50 hours, but a game of Dominions could easily require 20 or 30 hours. A long game might take you 60 hours or 50 hours, just because in the late game, if you get there in reasonable condition, your turns end up taking a long time. I have certainly spent an hour on a single turn of Dominions 5 before. Now, if you're spending an hour on your turns, you're probably in a good position, and so you're probably still engaged, but you can. And I have found myself, certainly, in positions where I'm spending half an hour on a turn, despite knowing that I'm not going to accomplish anything ultimately, that in the end analysis, I am a speed bump for one of the players who is actually going to win. And it's kind of a depressing situation to be in, to be honest. That said, I don't know how they could fix it exactly. Because, I mean, you'd have to completely revamp the style of the game in order to avoid that situation. Because it's just a consequence of the fact that, you know, success breeds success. In Dominions 5 and in 4X games in general, if you're winning, then you are in a position to leverage more resources to let you win more. And if you're losing, then you're in a position where you, like, if a player who is doing very well and a player who is not doing very well both play optimally, the player who's behind will not catch up, ever. And that's kind of the position I'm in right now, where I'm like, I'm doing a lot better than I was. I've clawed back from the brink. I've made kind of a breakthrough up here and taken a variety of extra territory, but I'm still very capped on income, I'm still very capped on territory, and most importantly, I'm still very capped on research. And that's my big limiter right now. And without that research, I find myself in a position where, despite my successes, which I'm honestly kind of proud of, that I've managed to pull it out this far, but without the research, which is a critical resource, I'm going to find myself in a position where I struggle greatly to have an impact on the game in 12, 15, 20, 30 turns. Just because, you know, at turn 50, other people will have, you know, research levels 7 and 8, and maybe 6s across the board, and I'll be at like let's look at my research graph. Let's just look at the research graph. Okay, so this, like, a good research graph takes an exponential curve, pretty, like, turns 1 through 12, okay, maybe it's like this, and then it starts curving up very, very sharply thereafter. The delay here is going to mean that other people are going to hit their mid and late game research goals, you know, 4 to 10 turns ahead of me, which means that they'll be kicking off their wars against me 10 turns before I have an answer ready. So, you know, like I said, it's not guaranteed, and certainly if other people make mistakes, I may be able to pull myself back here, but basically I'm in a position now where I find myself compelled to basically fight at a disadvantage, in the sense that I can't afford to commit mages to combat very much, because those mages have to be researching. And the fact that I'm committing so many mages to blood hunting, because I'm a nation that does that, and that requires me committing mage recruitment to things that aren't research, means that it's going to be even slower for me to catch up. Mages of Autumn are super, super valuable for me, but I'm strongly contemplating recruiting one for site searching right now, and then going back to Yogini, just because I desperately need the research points, and Yogini will get me twice as many research points in the same time frame as Mages of Autumn will. But doing that means I won't have more Earth Mages, and Earth Mages would be super useful for me, so fuck me, I guess. Anyway, that was a little bit of a digression on, you know, leaving that aside, I do think I have a chance to be a player. I could be a contender. I need to find out what Satis's Dominion is, which means I need to change this to my Dominion as quick as I can. So I'm definitely going to have to build a temple and a lab here ASAP as soon as I take it. Because geographically speaking, like I said, in terms of scales, it would make a lot of sense to attack Shinuyama, but what the fuck am I saying? I know what Satis's scales are. Hold on just a second. I'm an idiot. I have access to all this information, which I am fucking forgetting to use because I'm the one who made the Imager album of all the Pretender gods. What am I saying? Hush my mouth. Hold on a second. Late Satis, what are your scales? Or new Satis? New Satis's scales are, okay, they're neutral. They have neutral order, good scales otherwise. They do have heat. So they're, yeah, neutral order, productivity 2, heat 2, growth 3, and they have an imprisoned god. So they're going to have a water 9 dragon waking up pretty soon. Okay, that doesn't matter. Like, a water 9 dragon does not scare me at all. Sorry for scrolling endlessly sideways for a minute there. Okay, yeah, so the next thing to do, actually, is to keep this army rolling. After I take this fort, take maybe a couple turns to reinforce and set up here, and then try to push into New Satis's land. So I need to get my scouts deeper into Satis's territory. He's got Sorrowmancer there. He's got a Sorrowmancer there, probably site searching. So I'm going to contact Shinuyama and see if they want to attack New Satis with me. I don't know how wide Shinuyama's border with them is, but like them and then maybe Mictlan. I need to talk to old Mictlan. I've contacted him before, but if I can get the three of us to go in against Satis, I might be able to carve out another chunk of land pretty easily. And if I can do that, then potentially I can get something going against Utgard. Because definitely, my strategy for the next little while is going to have to be, I'm going to have to lean heavily on coalitions. I do not have the meat on my metaphorical national bones to fight wars myself. Anyone else would probably beat me in a war right now just because they probably have level 5 research, and I don't. Yeah, by turn 28, they really should have level 5 in something. And, well, you see. So, what I need is, I need an ally to bring in a powerful magical threat to force the enemy to divide their attention while I use my fairly simple and straightforward Lankan strategy of throwing demons at the problem. Which I'm only, like, barely starting to do. Really, like, this army only has, like, 20 demons in it, which is not enough. A proper Lankan army, if I'm going to be building a big stack of demons, should have, like, 60 or 100 demons in it. And if I can get those 60 or 100 demon blobs rolling, then I might be able to present a real challenge. So that's going to be the goal, and yeah, I think New Satis is going to be the target. Might seem weird to be planning to go straight into another war right now when I've just been talking about how I need to sit back and do research and etc., but hey, this is how Dominions is. You have to have more resources in order to do more stuff, and you only get more resources once expansion is over by taking them from other people. So we are going to have to go in and go in hard. Now this might actually be a relatively easy throne for me to take, because it's guarded by vampires. It also has death scales. That might actually be the Throne of Death. Now, my Dominion already got down to Growth 2, which is bad, from the Throne of Autumn. But if that's the Throne of Death, it would give me +5 Death Gems per turn, which would be huge. I'm going to... Where's a scout? Damn it. I'm gonna bounce Citravasu off that. No, I need him patrolling. I can't afford to recruit you. Fuck. Fuck. Are you serious? You. I'm gonna recruit an indie commander and just go suicide him into that throne. In order to see exactly what they have. Because if all they have is vampires, here's my thinking. Vampires have 0 protection, but they do have invulnerability 25. So against mundane weapons, they're really tough. They also have a lifesteal attack, which is armor piercing. So against mundane troops that rely on mundane things like armor and hitting hard, they're very difficult to beat. But Asurapas don't rely on either of those things. Asurapas rely on having decent defense skill, and they have magical weapons that ignore invulnerability. So, a mass of Asurapas, if that's a throne that just has a bunch of vampires on it without many wizards, a mass of Asurapas might be able to take it pretty easily. And then I could claim it and see what throne it is. With those death scales, I'm thinking it's the Throne of Death. But it might not be. But if it's the Throne of Death, I will claim it. I will claim it instantly. Because 5 death gems per turn will be a game changer for me. And if I could get that, and get a good chunk of Satis, then geographically speaking, I would be in a real good position to fight Utgard. Now, actually taking Utgard's capital would be an enormous pain in the ass, but especially if I can manage to get a hold of Dakini to push up to Blood 6. Dakini are fantastic raiders with a little bit of research behind them. I need some alteration and more enchantment. But that might be something really good if I could manage that. Okay, I think we've got the outlines, the shadows of a game plan. We'll bounce a commander off that. We should bounce a commander or a scout off that too, just so we can see what it is. Do I have any? I don't have any scout provinces. Fuck. What's with all these armored mounted commanders? They're useless to me. I hate them. They're taking up space that could be used by somebody more efficient. Yeah, give me more Atavi chieftains. Atavi chieftains are my independent scouts. Like, what can I say? Tell you what. You head back there. You go up this way. Yeah, and just attack it. And retreat. Just show me what's there. We'll figure out exactly what we have to do to take these 2 thrones, because taking a couple of thrones could be part of what I need to get back in the game. Like, especially if that's the Throne of the Sun. The Throne of the Sun would be amazing for me. It could be the Throne of Flames as well. The Throne of Flames would also be fine. So, like, taking this would be good. Taking that would be good if that's the Throne of Death. And taking a couple of thrones, boosting my gem income, getting some more Dominion spread and more income and just more provinces. Like, this is a pretty decent province. This isn't a great province, but I'll take it. Getting those could be a big deal. So let's see what we can do by way of that. We'll try to organize a coalition against New Satis. And after that, we'll see if we can get something going about Utgard. Alright. This has been long enough. That's more than enough strategic musing for right now. So, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in turn 29. We'll see if my plans come to any fruition.